everyone, this is Teresa with Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute. We are on the water today on the Indian River Lagoon. We're getting some field work done, and we wanted to take a few minutes to answer some questions and kind of fill you in on what we're doing today.
Hi, thank you Teresa for hosting this. My name is Wendy Durden. I'm a research scientist with Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute, and I really can't believe it's been this long, but I have been here for 19 years. I started off at the University of Central Florida, where I got my bachelor's degrees in biology and psychology. And then I was fortunate enough to do my master's degree through the University of Central Florida as well, but under Dr. Dan Odell, who really got me started in the marine mammal field. So I'm forever grateful to him.
The Stranding program at Hubbs-SeaWorld Research Institute is one of the busiest stranding programs in the entire southeastern United States. We get on average about 70 animals a year. On some years we've had as many as 132, so we do stay quite busy. We're out here today because we received a report of 2 different entangled animals in the area, and we're out here hoping that we can verify and get eyes on the animals. So we're hopeful that if we do get eyes on the animals, that we'll be able to have a better idea of the entanglement configuration. So in other words, how the gear is wrapped on the animals. Depending on the configuration will tell us if it's more life-threatening than others. We'll also be evaluating the body condition of the animals. So is the animal emaciated or thin, or does it appear to be doing okay? We'll also look at how the animal's swimming. Is it impacting their ability to feed or to swim? All of those are important components into determining whether or not we'll be able to intervene in the future. It's really important that we document the impact that human activities have on dolphins in the lagoon. And in fact, in the Indian River Lagoon, trauma is one of the leading causes of mortality for Indian River Lagoon dolphins. And the majority of that is actually caused by our activities. Well, Indian River Lagoon dolphins die of many different causes. And in fact, Indian River Lagoon dolphins have suffered several different unusual mortality events. An unusual mortality event strictly means that large numbers of dolphins are dying in a small confined time period in an isolated kind of geographical spot. So you have a lot of animals dying in a small period of time in a small area, and that has happened to the Indian River Lagoon dolphins on 4 different occasions. From our long-term studies, we have been able to determine causes of death in many of the animals, and it does appear that infectious disease is one of the leading causes, with the primary finding being respiratory illness in Indian River Lagoon dolphins. And we do believe that's common in many dolphins populations.
Why is it important to kind of come out here and document entangled animals?
Well, it's really important that we document how human activities are impacting our local dolphin populations. This information actually is really critical to managers to determine how we might be able to mitigate these impacts. And some of that, there's not a lot we can do, but we do spend a lot of time doing outreach efforts to try and help mitigate where we can. There are simple things that the public can do as far as just recycling your monofilament fishing line, or being really cautious if you have dolphins that seem really interested in your hooked fish or your release fish. In order to thoroughly document the entanglement, it's really important that we're able to get really close-up images of both the entanglement and the animal. Which will allow us to get really crisp and close images both of the entanglement and the animal. Once we have images of the dorsal fin, we're actually able to determine who that animal is. And fortunately, we've been working in this area for over a decade. So using images of the dorsal fin, which is basically like a fingerprint for a bottlenose dolphin, we're able to track them over time.
So why is it important to correlate what you know through the photo ID program with the entangled animal?
Well, if we have information on the animal that's entangled, it's incredibly helpful for us. For example, majority of dolphins have unique dorsal fins, and we were able to tell them apart. We've been working in the area for over a decade, so if we know who the dolphin is based on the dorsal fin image, we know where to search for the animal. We may know the sex of the animal, the age of the animal. All of these things are important components when planning our search and when planning how we might mitigate the
challenges in responding to an entangled animal?
Well, if you don't know much about the animal, which is the case today, you really don't have a good idea of where to look. We do have some background information based on where we think animals, how far we think animals range based on other studies we've done. But it's really quite challenging to try and figure out where a dolphin might be just based on one sighting. Another thing is reportings. The report came from the public, but that's the only report that we've had, and it's been quite busy on the water. So if we have more information about where the animal is showing up, that'll help us better locate them. So a way that the public could help both with stranding response and with entangled dolphins is if you happen to notice an entangled dolphin or a dolphin that's struggling, or even a stranded dolphin, if you could please contact us through Fish and Wildlife. That number is 1-888-404-3922. And then the quicker we know about the event occurring, the quicker we'll be able to respond and the better chances for the animal.
So Wendy, you've been doing this a long time. What keeps you so dedicated to helping Indian River Lagoon dolphins?
That's an excellent question. I will say it is very challenging, the things that we've seen and done, and to be on call 24 hours a day all the time for several decades. But ultimately, I feel like it's my duty and my obligation to look after the animals and to be a voice for them. And that's what keeps me coming to work every day.
Is there any stories you'd like to share, or any kind of really rewarding rescues or cases that you want to talk about?
Well, I feel like the most rewarding are always the ones where we're able to help them kind of quickly and get them on their way. So we have had several cases in the area where we've had calves that were entangled in fishing gear really badly, and we were able to disentangle them, release them, and then be able to follow them for the majority of their lives and watch them grow and contribute to the population. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in for Talk Tuesday. We're pleased to have you here today and hope to see you all in person one day, maybe soon. So thank you very much. Bye, everybody.